Hi and welcome to Indigo Starfire. My name is Bevin, and in this video I'm going to be doing a channeled love letter from your person. And for this particular reading, I've gone back into the archive of the channeled letters from previous readings like this over the course of the almost 2 years that I have had this channel here on YouTube, and I have selected at random 3 different letters, and I'll be using those for the channeled letter portion of the reading today. I'm also going to start the reading with some oracle cards to get kind of a feel about what's going on with your person right now, and then following the channeled letter I'll get some standalone message cards that can either reinforce these introductory messages or can serve as additional messages for you from your person's higher self, and then I'll close the reading out with some initials. So there are 3 groups to choose from. Group 1, Group 2, and Group 3. So if you want to take a moment to center, focus on your breathing, and feel whichever group, maybe multiple groups or perhaps all of the groups that you're most drawn to. I'll give you a minute to make your selection and then we'll get right into it. And there are timestamps in the description box of the video for each group if you would like to jump ahead. Hi, Group 1. You chose this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with those oracle cards and get a feel about what's going on with your person right now. Okay, so we have lovers, courtship, journey, imprisonment, mature man, change, high honor, and gift. So this is definitely giving the energy of somebody who has something on their mind that they want to say, and there's a degree of kind of perfectionism involved in this. If this involves some sort of a reconciliation that would be required, they are planning and strategizing almost like the right moment, the right words to say, the right approach to reintroduce themselves to you energetically and in real time in an almost delicate manner, a sense of not wanting to set off any red flags and understanding that you might be kind of guarded with them. If they had left you out on the lurch, left you hanging, had been kind of scared of the intimacy between the two of you, scared of taking the next step. For some people, this is going to be someone who might have thought the grass could be greener on the other side and wanted to just keep their options open, had ventured away, strayed from the connection in some way, even just kind of going distant within themselves, ghosting energetically speaking, and some sort of revelation that has come to them that happiness, as far as they have known it up to this point in time, the definition and experience of that in many ways has been exceeded quite unexpectedly by what they've experienced with you. And so there's a sense of wanting to make up for lost time, wanting to redeem themselves in some manner, wanting to, even if no apology is necessary, if this is just someone who's kind of retreated, energetically speaking, kind of trapped in their mind, sort of thinking about worst case scenarios, best case scenarios, what the future in this situation can hold, that kind of tying into the idea of like grass being greener on the other side, sort of should I do what is necessary in order to overcome challenges and obstacles internally or externally in order to sort of further this connection, or is this something which is too far outside the bounds of my comfort zone? I'm not ready. I don't feel I can give this person what it is that they're looking for in the long term. Wounds as far as like love and relationships are concerned. They've come to a place of understanding that the risk of not taking action towards you to either start to participate in a more wholehearted manner in this connection, start to really even articulate some of their fears, some of their hangups as far as love and emotions are concerned, in order to give you more of a context of kind of what you're working with at this person, so you can sort of calculate the pace at which things are evolving. This may be the first time that you've really sort of broached the subject of long-term plans with one another, but it's a relatively newer connection, or someone who again has gone kind of cold or distant, wanting to really sort of bring in an upsurge in what it is they're feeding into this connection. Rather than just kind of going through the motions and maintaining the status quo, there is this desire to evolve beyond these present circumstances. Rather than continuing to sort of pull away, it's the energy of wanting to invest, seeing that to continue to just kind of linger in the mental space risks the long-term integrity of this situation. That it's the sense of, you are a gift, this connection is a gift, this is a blessing. They feel very blessed to have encountered you, and a lot of joy that surfaces even when they're just sitting there thinking about you in the midst of all these kind of what ifs, all these possible sort of runaway train thoughts within their mind. They keep being brought back to this sense of comfort, this sense of unity, this sense of, despite the obstacles, despite the fears, you are somebody that I'm very much excited to have a part of my life. I miss you. I want to feed more into this connection. I want to make you feel seen and appreciated, so that any sort of delay or pause or uncertainty that they're instilling into this situation, or that they feel they have up to this point in time, is not taken as a signal by you to start disconnecting from them, to start, setting your sights elsewhere, to start almost preparing for the worst in this situation. They may have really given you that impression recently, or up to this point in time, that you weren't really sure where they stand as far as, the really kind of next step between the two of you, something in a more long-term fashion. Again, conversations for a lot of you that they've not had with you yet. They've been kind of dodging the questions, or very evasive in this capacity. It's been very difficult to kind of crack them open to sort of the deeper truths of the heart and long-term planning. And this feels to be something that they are heavily invested in, sort of thinking about amending this, course correcting in a very profound and beautiful way. And even if it's something very simple, even if it's something by way of, expressing to you, I'm afraid to kind of go down this road with you at this point in time. I'm afraid to make these long-term plans. I'm afraid of getting my heart broken again. Even if it's something very direct, a declaratory statement in that sense, it's that in and of itself feels to be kind of this gift that they are wanting to bestow, some sort of peace of mind to you, so that you are able to sort of transform out of an energy of uncertainty into knowing that they are in some way in a process of readying themselves. They're not wanting to lose this opportunity. They're not wanting to let the energies between the two of you go cold, but almost inviting you in some way into this internal landscape, giving you some kind of a peek, or for others it's going to be a very bold declaration of, these are my intentions, these are my fears and hesitations here, these are my hopes. How can we work with this to kind of move together in unison toward a better future between us, or the next stage in the next evolution? It feels like they've been thinking about this for quite some time, with the idea of the mature man. It's kind of like hermit vibes, and maybe a process of even sort of addressing and facing some sort of fears or hangups as far as love and partnership is concerned. A fear almost of getting involved in a long-term commitment out of a fear of being sort of left hanging further down the road, investing too deeply in something and then getting their heart broken. A lot of heartbreak that they may have just sort of been keeping within, that has sort of been a block or a wedge, almost a third-party energy in and of itself in the situation with you up to this point in time, that it feels like they have quietly been in the process of starting to really move beyond that in some manner, or at least kind of getting ready to clue you into a little more of these details so that you know more about what it is you're working with. So there's not so much left to mystery, left to your kind of imagination running wild, but that there's more that's sort of brought out in the light of day, that they appreciate you. They appreciate the bond between the two of you. They enjoy the time spent with one another and are wanting to carry things forth into the future. And if this is someone that's needing to come back with an apology, again, this sense of they've thought about this long and hard. This is not an impulsive energy they're moving towards you in, but it's almost trying to get all the ducks in a row, thinking of the positives and the negatives. There's a fear of rejection that may be holding them back in a certain manner. A big conversation, even the words "I miss you," "I love you," "I'm sorry," these can be big conversations as far as this person is concerned, because it opens the door, not just, it feels like, with their intention of sort of repeating cycles, but it's almost breaking through some cycle in the past. Maybe that was kind of the breaking point between you, was this need or this opportunity to sort of be very open about their feelings, to make very clear to you how deeply they were invested. And instead they sort of chose to run from the situation. There's a desire to make up for that lost time, to come back in your direction with something meaningful, something that makes you feel seen and appreciated, something that makes you know that even if you're several steps behind sort of a future destination, that they are thinking in a forward momentum towards the future. There is a desire to evolve beyond the present circumstances, whatever that looks like, and to cooperate with you, to sort of meet you halfway, meet you at kind of this next level, this next sort of opening of opportunity, that whatever this sort of statement or declaration or conversation, or even like a literal gift, maybe flowers, or something that would sort of through an object kind of convey their degree of admiration and interest and an apology if necessary. But it's the idea of wanting to invest more deeply in this connection, or invest in building a bridge between the two of you, repairing the past, sort of changing your narrative out of an energy of uncertainty or any kind of heartbreak, anything that's been really frozen in time, any ways in which they've been hesitating and sort of building toward the future with you. There's this essence here of a lot of planning, a lot of strategy, a lot of kind of build up toward breaking through some sort of barrier, with the intention of let's grow and develop on into the future with one another. So read the channeled love letter from your person's higher self, and let's see what they want to tell you right now. Our complex, heartbreaking, otherworldly, and hopeful story of love and redemption will inspire the hearts and minds of all who bear witness to us. Our role in this life is simply to love, through all the pressures and celebratory victories, to carry and feed this light inside of us. We create so much together simply by the power of thought. I'm excited to see where the dreams we share take us, and how the bridge connecting our hearts becomes sturdier with time. I have missed you over these last few lifetimes. Let's make up for lost time, here and now. They speak of heaven as a destination. I know it to be a reward in the here and now, which surges through me every time I look into your eyes. We belong to each other, and there is such freedom in this notion that is unmatched by even my years of solitude and autonomy. You are the friend I have always been seeking, the lover who truly perceives me, the rock who keeps me grounded and in my purpose when the questions and doubt begin to babble within my own mind. You're my motivation and my muse, and you help to activate parts of me that were unreachable and unknown before. Together, anything is possible. Let's make this lifetime one for the books. Let's enjoy this profound love story like never before. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say it should have been you. It was easier to just stay where I'm at. I don't know how to change. I am asking for help. I don't know how to approach you. I feel lonely. If only you knew. I've always seen your angel wings. I want to connect with you again. And you don't know it yet, but I am planning to surprise you. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got U, B, P, Y, D, L, E, G, N, T, W, G, N, C, D, O, W, C, and X. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you'd like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several different kinds of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I'm running a little sale in my Etsy shop now through November 12th, and all jewelry is marked down 25%. So if you have had your eye on anything, now would be a really good time to make a purchase, because I don't think I'm going to be running any more sales for the rest of the year. I might do one a little bit later in December, but yeah, this might be it for the year. So do take a look at that if that was anything that you'd be interested in. And I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link to that in the description box of the video, as well as in the channel section of my page. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 2. I chose this letter, which I will read in just a minute. I'm going to start with the oracle cards and see what's going on with your person right now. So we have high honor, occupation, marriage, despair, change, adjudication, pathway, and child. So there's an energy here of a desire for freedom from something, almost somebody who has reached their breaking point, reached rock bottom, something having to do with like a karmic cycle or pattern that may involve a third party in the form of another person. This could be childhood wounding that they have been very enmeshed in, a toxic family dynamic, addictions, lifestyle, different kind of habits that in some way had prevented them up to this point from fully investing in or moving towards you and a connection. Maybe in general had even been sort of holding them back in their life in a pretty profound way, or had in a sense dictated the life that they're living. Kind of living for other people, living to please others, or numbing out even in conjunction with that, some degree of like quiet desperation, a desire to march to the beat of their own drum, but a lot of fear prior to kind of real time, the energies right now of an incentive to do that. They may have been left no other choice but to change. Things may have really bottomed out for them in various ways. It's the idea of someone who became sort of sick and tired of being sick and tired. They could no longer live under an illusion that some sort of coping mechanism or lifestyle or even a decision to sort of run from you in this connection, or run from the truth of their heart, that this is no longer sustainable. And so with this is the essence of kind of breaking from tradition, breaking from a certain kind of pattern that had been established, sort of round and round the same familiar track in terms of ideas about love and loss, moving towards sort of listening to their heart versus kind of escaping back into the mental perception, ego-based thinkings, fear, fear of intimacy, fear of commitment and connection, which may have led to a lot of self-sabotage in the past. This feels to be somebody that has put a lot of effort into constructing a mask that they have presented to the world, and something that may have been a big kind of trigger point with them in the dynamic with you is you were able to see beyond that without even trying. You really helped to sort of soothe and coaxed a wounded inner child out from hiding, a sense of almost renewal of hope that despite any kind of ups and downs that they've been through in life, disappointments as far as life and love, maybe even divorce or a couple divorces that they've been through, a lot of upheavals and a lot of change, that you really sparked or inspired within them this very fresh perspective that anything was possible. It's the idea of somebody almost feeling compelled to love like they had never been hurt in love before. And this may have been something that caused them to very abruptly kind of put on the brakes, maybe retreat back into a comfort zone, a sense of this feels too scary to sort of travel the road less traveled, take that leap of faith in the direction of putting myself out there and becoming very vulnerable, allowing myself to kind of believe the best is possible in love rather than hopes will only be lifted in order to be dashed further down the road. And it feels that this is something where a route that they chose in conjunction with this connection. So this may be a situation where you're in no contact with one another, but it's almost they needed to learn the hard way and experience through difficulty and challenge what love is by kind of sitting in this last season or over this last phase of their life, or this connection with you, by sitting in the energy of what love is not outside of this connection, whether that is with another person, with a third party, or even just kind of in their own misery, in their own kind of trapped in their mind, trapped in sort of whatever this artificial life is that they've built, this kind of mask that they've been hiding behind, a sense of really knowing that, or feeling almost that they had taken the coward's route in life in general, or when it came to kind of this very this beautiful kind of pathway that had opened up for them in terms of a fresh opportunity to love in a way that made them feel that they would want to love as if they'd never been hurt in love before. And instead of answering that call, they almost pushed you away, maybe even denied feelings for you, or really felt threatened, and kind of the sacrifice that would have been necessary in order to fully embark on that pathway with you would have been the shedding or the letting go of this kind of mask, this persona, this facade in some way, maybe even kind of old wounds that they had been using as a shell around themselves to kind of keep and preserve what beauty they perceived that existed still within their heart, keeping that safe from harm, keeping that safe from exposure. So it's a sense of almost paradoxically being drawn very much towards you, and at the same time, very fearful of kind of like, if I've been hurt in love before and I feel so deeply for this person, things could go very well, but if things fall apart in this circumstance, how would I even manage to pick up the pieces from that? Because it's been such a struggle to kind of live this dualistic life. One person, in the light of day, and another person behind closed doors, another person deeply within. And so this feels to be something that it's kind of at this process of everything's tumbling down. It's tower moments. It's self-induced tower moments. This person really kind of pulling the plug on some degree of illusion, stretching beyond kind of their limits in a way, maybe even on some kind of pilgrimage or journey, seeking answers, seeking to find kind of the rhyme and reason, the root cause of sort of their tendency towards self-sabotage, their inability to really trust in sort of what their heart was telling them, which it feels like has been compelling them in the direction of believing in this connection, believing that good things will come of that, that even if there are challenges, you can see this through together, that they are safe to open up their heart to you. And so it feels like almost as some kind of prelude to making progress towards you, they're now kind of at this process of very consciously, or even if it's through sort of tower moments, are surrendering to this process of the only way out of this situation, out of this predicament, out of their own mind is basically through sort of their internal shadow realm, through their personal underworld, through some process of kind of evaluating all of these memories to understand kind of what is the choreography for the version of them that has been operating through the world up to this point in time, and how can that be remedied in some way to kind of yield better results, so that they can stand more in sort of the light of love rather than sort of flee away into this cold energy of sort of fear and all of these kind of coping mechanisms, which it feels like are really, it's becoming more and more difficult to sort of sustain that illusion. What was once a mechanism to sort of numb out some kind of hurt within, it's taking more and more of whatever that is to kind of get them to that point of oblivion, or it's ceasing altogether to be kind of a sufficient distraction for them, which may be another sort of motivation. For some, there's even been, effects as far as like interpersonal dynamics, family dynamics, maybe even legal troubles, trouble with work, just a lot of different tower moments that are coming down, maybe even health problems as well, kind of somebody in dire straits, and it's really kind of in this darkest period of time where true change and evolution is possible. So they're at some kind of point of personal surrender, which it feels like is a very profound door to kind of change and up leveling in the connection with you. So let's see, what do they want you to know from their higher self right now? Three simple words are jumbled up in my throat. This feels bigger than the definition of love that can be contained within the barriers of logic. I am reaching for the courage to, with a simple utterance, break the stillness so that the embers of passion can once again take in air and breathe their way to life. Your energy teases me and encourages the child within to forego its tantrums and terror and to trust in the power of new beginnings, even at this stage of the game of life. I'm sorry for playing with time. I should not have gambled our future, and I'm trying to make up for these delays as quickly as I can. It seems my back was turned only for a moment, and you managed to drift oceans away. Now that I recognize who you are, I must give everything I have to conquer the gravity within that holds me fast to this fixed position as you continue to grow into the full radiance you were always meant to inhabit. You inspire and thrill me and move my heart in indescribable ways, even after all these years. Your self-created joy coaxes me out from hiding. I heal just by witnessing your transformation. I am so nervous to open these lines of communication, and I know peace can only be found by letting this love flow freely. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say, I wish I could take it all back. I can't believe I thought the grass would be greener. Would you be willing to open up to me? I keep dreaming of you. You mean the world to me. Do you still have feelings for me? I feel lonely, if only you knew. And I was selfish and took you for granted. Please forgive me. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or could spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. W, H, D, V, S, O, N, B, A, O, F, H, J, Z, C, I, Q, L, and R. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you would like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several varieties of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I'm running a little sale in my Etsy shop now through November 12th. All jewelry is marked down 25%. So if you have had your eye on anything, now would be a really good time to act upon that. I'm probably not going to be running any more sales through the end of the year, maybe one a little bit later in December, but this might be it for 2023, so it'd be a really good time to act upon that, take a look at anything in there. And I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link to that in the description box of the video, as well as in the channel section of my page. The format for there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance. So if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well. Hi, Group 3. I chose this letter, which I'll read in just a minute. I'm going to start with the oracle cards and see what's going on with your person right now. Okay, so we have mature man, courtship, mature woman, toil and labor, family room, main male, despair, and poverty. So if this is a no contact situation, your person is sitting in a lot of regret right now. You are the sensible choice. You are the practical choice. You are the one that they could see themselves growing old with, building a family with. Qualities and aspects about you that may not have necessarily been sort of surface level attributes they were looking for in a long-term partnership, or they hadn't really prioritized these things as having much value and meaning, have now taken on some kind of weight and gravity. They're seeing you from a kind of a fresh lens as well. Maybe it's been a substantial amount of time that you've been in a no contact with one another, and you've really sort of become your own hero in the aftermath of whatever fell apart with this person. You've picked yourself back up and put your broken pieces together in a very beautiful way. It feels like they definitely have a lot more kind of respect for your strength, your perseverance, your compassion for yourself, and the way in which you are fearlessly loving yourself and kind of seeking to embrace or move toward a life which really makes you feel very seen and very sustained inside and out, which were things that maybe weren't even necessarily a priority for you prior to kind of dealing with this person, having your heart broken and having no choice but to kind of get up and rise again out of those kind of ashes of yesterday. Or this was sort of qualities that again were overlooked about you when you were last dealing with this person. But it feels like they've gone through some kind of up-leveling in their own right, almost the sense of two people walking parallel paths. They've almost needed to kind of lose you and lose themselves, lose their way, in order to be able to truly from a distance kind of perceive the light that you are, what you had to offer to them, what you contributed to their life even at that point in time, what they envision could develop between the two of you moving forward if you would allow them back in to sort of pick up the pieces of this situation to redeem themselves in some way. There's a fear that they've realized this and it's too little too late. A sense of a bit of kind of intimidation based on this new vantage point they're seeing you from, or a new version of you that you have worked to create, that has emerged or starting to emerge. And it's kind of the more you're stepping into your own kind of personal power and sovereignty, the more it is making them kind of deeply crave you, deeply appreciate you for more than just sort of surface level qualities. Again, these are like aspects within somebody that would be with someone through thick and thin, that would be able to kind of ride the waves of life, the ebbs and flows, the ups and downs. And it may be something where they have had to experience people that were fair weather friends, kind of fickle relationships that sort of fell apart, things that they had been sort of putting priority on before, and a sense of even kind of the chips being down in their life in a certain manner, and people around them's true colors being revealed. They may have had a lot of people that were only sort of with them for what they had, with them for what they could provide, using them in some way. And when life got difficult, those people scurried, they scattered away. And so it feels like your person's in a very lonely energy right now, and it's helping them to really understand or appreciate you more as somebody who would have stuck by them, would have been the sensible choice, is the person that they should have invested more deeply with, or should have continued to build with when they had that opportunity. And it feels to be something where there is this kind of yearning to return. In a lot of ways, they're just kind of awestruck for a lot of people, and just kind of watching a transformation, watching some sort of glow up, watching and seeing that you really come into your own in some profound manner. A lot of anguish and kind of guilt about that, because there's a certain part of them that knows this version of you was built off of the wreckage of what had been left behind when this connection fell apart in the past. And it's a sense of wondering kind of, how do I come back from this? How do I apologize for what has been done? And sort of, what do I have to contribute to somebody who in many ways appears to have kind of bettered themselves despite the odds, despite the obstacles that were faced? So there's a desire to move back towards you, but an understanding that they must bring something substantial to the table. So almost kind of looking to you as some example to kind of pick themselves up by the bootstraps in some sort of manner, maybe literally kind of loss that has occurred in terms of their material stability. Their ego has been bruised or decimated in some way. They could be going through like a dark night of the soul, and are kind of like watching you from a distance, or energetically tapping in, feeling into this situation remotely, kind of sending these signals from afar energetically, hoping that you will kind of have mercy on them, have compassion for them, maybe even that you would be the one to open those lines of communication first, if that is something that would be practical to your situation, or even just kind of like a silent prayer, please still be available, or please still be kind of receptive to me when I get to this place of feeling more like myself again, feeling more restored and confident, because they do have some intention to not just sit in the shadows and watch, but this is somebody who intends on at least making an effort to try and repair circumstances, to see if maybe something that didn't work before, now that sort of time and life have seasoned the two of you, maybe that this is your opportunity, this is your time, maybe it's not too late, but they sort of feel to be in this liminal space, kind of in the midst of a transformation, a version of them that has been kind of ripped away, or that is falling away, or that they themselves are willingly kind of shedding, in the aftermath of some kind of revelation and truth that has happened during the separation and silence, and yet they're not fully embodied in that kind of rebirthed version of them. They're still kind of trying these different versions of them on for size, to see what fits, what feels most comfortable, what is a good match for you, for this other person, so that what they can bring forth is something that you would consider, that would add to the measure of what you've already kind of cultivated for yourself. So there's a desire to kind of move out of the energy of lack, like Five of Pentacles, back into Ten of Pentacles, a sense of like, I want to come home, I want to come back to this connection, I know what I have now that it is gone, and if it's not too little too late, I want to try and repair and rebuild this. So let's see what your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. I'm sorry for making you feel unloved. I'm sorry for putting you on the back burner. The intensity of our bond necessitates that I unplug at times. I'm not good at expressing my feelings or my fears. I operate under the belief that to speak on a thing or think too long affects change for better or worse. So I become cold as ice, a living void, until my panic at what we are becoming to one another and through one another subsides. I don't want to bring the reality of us into form too soon. I have unanswered questions that lurk inside, demanding answers before I will allow myself to fully succumb into the role I am being urged to rise into, so that we may face the world together as the unified light of love that we are. During my alone time, I feel your sacred rage as torchlight, drawing me back in closer, threatening to erase my doubts about the transcendent nature of who you are. You are my rebirth, the beginning of all I have been destined for. I am terrified of you engulfing me, and I know I have no choice in the matter. You are the sun, and you are the sky. Even as moonlight, you nourish my soul in ways no one else has before. So let's see what else your person wants you to know right now from their higher self. Okay, and they say, I am taking time away so I can understand my feelings. I want to do everything I didn't do before. I remember how easy life is with you. There's a lot I have to tell you. I have wanted to text you, but I can't find the words. I want to connect with you again. I've pushed down my feelings for so long. Hindsight is 20/20. I have something I want to give you. And there is no one else like you. So these initials can be a first, middle, or last name of you or your person, or can spell something out, just whatever resonates for you. Got Q, D, O, R, J, Y, S, E, G, T, M, D, S, V, L, H, B, B, and E. So those are your messages, and that is your channeled love letter. I hope that everything resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, or share. If you would like a personal reading or a personalized channeled love letter, I offer both through my Etsy shop, and there's a link to that in the description box of the video. I offer a variety of pre-recorded video readings, written readings, and several different types of channeled letters. Turnaround time on everything is 5 to 7 days. energies from the time of purchase. I also sell handmade jewelry, dream catchers, and sun catchers if you're interested in checking any of those out as well. And I'm running a little sale in my Etsy shop now through November 12th. All the jewelry's been marked down 25%. So if you've had your eye on anything, now would be a really good time to act upon that. And this is probably going to be the last sale I'm going to run in 2023. There might be another one sometime in December, maybe toward the end of December, but I'm not sure about that yet. So if you've had your eye on anything or just want to take a look around, now would be a really good time to act upon that. I've also launched a second channel here on YouTube, which is called Lady of the Dawn Tarot. There's a link to that in the description box of the video, as well as in the channel section of my page. The format over there consists of readings related to topics other than love and romance, so if you're looking for something a little different from me, that is the place to find it. I thank you for your support there, as well as for your continued support here on this channel. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.